Yo, what's going on, guys? So we are going to be talking about a pretty triggering topic today. In this video, we are going to be talking about if people still have racial preferences in dating, and did you make it if you dated somebody that is of white ethnicity, any white ethnicity that may be, whether it's Irish, German. We're talking about the complexion of the skin, and is it different when you date a different ethnicity of women? Does the world view you different? Do they weigh one higher than the other? Do they weigh one lower than the other? It's a very controversial topic. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. I want to see what you guys think down below. I'll let you guys know as we talk what I think. And I think it's a lot more nuanced than just yes or no. So let's get straight into it. Remember, we're doing a giveaway of 500 subscribers. So if you guys want to get involved in that, you guys have to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So peace. Let's get into it.
I'm seeing I'm accepted different in different social settings because I have a white fiance.
I wouldn't know. Again, I haven't had a conversation with anybody, and I have friends that fuck with white girls. I have friends that fuck with black. I got friends that fucked with, but I don't see them say, "Yo, I prefer this."
I usually agree with Ish. I'm sorry, Ish, but you're wrong here. So, am I saying 100% of the time, everyone you're talking to, everyone you're around, they're going to view you higher? Even the people that you know are going to view you higher or of a higher class because you are dating somebody that is white, a white woman specifically? No, because that's not true. If you go to a Hispanic culture or a black culture or any other culture, of course, if you date somebody from that culture, you're going to be looked at, usually with some preference, unless you're in really impoverished areas. When I say really impoverished, I mean extraordinarily impoverished and few white people, probably. If you have a combination of few white people and a very impoverished area, then even people of your own complexion, if you're black, even other black people, if you're Spanish, other Spanish people are going to view you and think that you probably made it a little bit better than somebody else that isn't dating that same complexion. Of course, it's not only the complexion. A lot of it goes into what they're wearing and how they look, but it is a whole lot easier to pass by as a professional white woman that's dressed somewhat casually than a professional black woman or Spanish woman. It's harder for us to, same thing with guys. It's just harder for us to pass by as professional. That's why you see very oftentimes in our cultures, they go way out of themselves to try to look good. They wear suits to virtually everything. They wear nice clothes to virtually everything. Or of course, it could go the other way, where it could be the extreme in the opposite direction. But how many of your Spanish or black parents, growing up, will tell you, don't wear that with holes, you look bad, you look blah, 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 unless you don't have better, because of course there's times when you don't have more. But it's like, take care of your stuff, don't put holes in this, don't put holes in that, you have to be mindful of this stuff. It's like that all the time. I think if I am a Spanish and black guy going to Kentucky, and I'm dating a white woman, and let's say I have a little bit more of a tan than I do right now. Let's say that they can tell that I'm not a white man, because sometimes people think I'm mixed, so it's easier that way. But some people will purely think, oh, well, this guy has some white in him. Okay, but if they don't, and they just see my complexion, or they know I'm Spanish and black, they'll be a little different. I'm not saying everyone will be. The later generations, as you get into them, it's going to be a lot worse. Not every time, but as you get older, you tend to deal with that problem more. Also, if a family has that in their history and they feel like this, or if the generation you're dealing with doesn't feel like this, but the generations above them do, it changes everything. It changes the dynamic of the relationship. It changes the dynamic of the situation you're dealing with. So
I've never had a friend that say I prefer white women. I've never had a friend that say I prefer Spanish women. I remember when Spanish women was popular back in the day and jokers was trying to shoot at them. But again, I don't know anybody that, would just
that
say
narrow it down and say, that's all I'm dating.
Yeah,
I'm not dating anything else but this.
I don't know anybody like that.
I don't.
Anything but this, that's a different thing. But when people say, oh yeah, I prefer X or X, guys and girls both do that. Everyone has preferences. I'm not saying everyone has a color preference, but everyone has some preferences. So there are definitely people that prefer to date one race over the other. That happens all the time, especially within the racist communities. When you have a racist person They're never going to want you to date whatever they don't like.
I don't even like staying here because I start feeling like I'm a part of that race baiting shit.
No. And again, so on this topic, the fans be.
Everyone says I race bait. I like these topics, honestly. It's not race baiting for me. I like just talking about this stuff because it's part of my life.
Be mad at me. They think that.
They hate you.
I just saw a comment the other day saying that me and Ice got white girlfriends. Ice's girlfriend is from Morocco.
Yeah.
She's from Africa.
Real Africa.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's the dumbest argument. It's because everyone here is triggered all the time. Everyone in the U.S. is triggered. So black people in the U.S. will say that black people aren't black if you don't fit their particular black. Spanish people tell you you're not Spanish if you're not Spanish enough for them, or if you don't speak Spanish in some cases. It happens within a ton of races. So like when people talk online or whatever, I just let it go. Oftentimes I'll comment back just because it'll keep the engagement going. Keep engaging, by the way. So when I get hate like that, I enjoy it. I enjoy combating hate and I enjoy dealing with it online. It's fun. It's always been fun since I was a little kid, because the way I look at it is, why are you getting so angry, upset, and butthurt over the internet? Why does it matter what I'm saying? If you don't like it, get your ass off the video. If you do like it, continue to watch the video and I appreciate you. But if you don't like my stuff, you guys don't have to watch it. If you guys want to be negative in the comments, it's my video and the engagement helps my channel. So I'm probably going to engage with you if I see it, or I'm going to be taking a shit later on, scrolling on my phone. And when I see some hate comments, I have to engage. It's just too much fun. Because then you come back later and they tell you how like obsessed you were with them when it's like 3 days later. But it's like, no, bro, I was just taking a poop and I missed this one.
I just think that somebody's preference or who they end up with at the end of the day is not predicated in some bias or some, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know for me, I can't speak for nobody else, but.
Then shut up if you can't speak for nobody else.
To everyone is in some bias or whatever. If you're a religious person and you want to date somebody else that's religious, that is a bias. If you're not religious and you want to date someone that's not religious, that's a bias. People look at biases as bad things. They're not always bad things. Biases are choices. They're not always conscious. Sometimes people don't realize the way they feel about a group of people until the time comes. I don't think negative biases are good. But to just completely look at the word bias and think anything that is biased is bad, it's just not, that's not an educated way of thinking about it. Not to me.
No, we having a conversation about what we think people are out here targeting. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know anybody that's, again, specifically targets white women as a status symbol like they made it.
Like I said, that was a thing before.
There was a thing.
It
No,
definitely was
it
a
was.
thing before.
I don't know.
Then what year did it die? If y'all were able to recognize that it was a thing before, then tell me when that slowed down or shifted.
It might still be a thing in certain places, certain
I just don't
circles.
see it as much. Is all. That's what I said. I don't see it as much. Like athletes was running. Soon as you got on, the first rappers, everybody. As soon as you got on, you went and got you a white girl. Like that was like my. All right, I'm here now. It's like the nigga coming into some new money, going to buy the latest Rolls Royce. Yeah.
A lot of this has to do just with the history of the nation. When you look at the history of this nation, the history of black and white people, in every nation, honestly, when you look at the history of black and white people, you can understand why some of these things are the way they are. If our community is the US is 72% white according to the 2019 census, and that does not include anyone that has any Spanish descent in them or anything else. So with 72% of people being white, when you go out, and that's 7 out of every 10 people you see are going to be white. So of course, just inevitably, there's going to be a higher status symbol maintained with being with someone of that complexion, that nature, whatever it is, because that is what is normal. Think about it. Also, when you start to get into money, what cultures don't have money? All of the other ones, all of the other cultures for the most part, except for like there's stereotypical things with Asian people having money or Middle Eastern people having money because of the businesses that they've been in or because of their nations and things like that. But when it comes to who owns the highest percentage of the wealth, we all know who it is, and we all know what groups are suffering statistically. I'm not saying everyone, it's case by case basis, of course, but statistically. So if you look at the statistics, that's going to show you the average, and the average is going to tell you kind of what you need to know. If you go outside and you see 10 people, they're not all going to be different, like dynamically different, how much they make and all that stuff. No, statistically, they're going to fit into some kind of group, some kind of category. And then when you start to break those categories down, you see how much people are struggling or doing well. And oftentimes these racial preferences and stuff, I bet you a lot of it stems from that. Because if it was the 1800s and there's a black person trying to get with a white person, you're going to get punished. If you're anything besides a white person in America trying to get with another white person, you're going to get severely punished. So that's probably why now it has the kind of prestige it does compared.
You know, like, yeah, I'm up here with y'all now. I look at my car. I don't see that as much anymore. That's what I'm saying. It might still happen, but
I don't think it's as prevalent.
They're not running to say, all right, now accept me as one of y'all because look who I'm with.
Not just that, being that we are in a certain social circle.
That's a different thing. You will gain more. I don't care what anyone says. If you're with that person that is, if you're not white and you're with someone that is white, you're going to gain more acceptance. Not every time, but you'll gain more acceptance generally amongst people of that race if they didn't like you beforehand because of your race. Not every time, of course. Race, just because you're racist doesn't mean it's just going to swap as soon as you get in front of someone that is of another race. But if you are that one Spanish or one black person that is with that white girl that has her entire family or whatever it may be, if you're there with them, they may view you different because you're with her versus somebody that is not with her. You know what I mean? Because they'll be like, oh, well, she chose you, so she chose you for a reason. He chose you for a reason. That's how people view things. It's disgusting, but that's how it is.
Cool, right? All of us in this room have friends in all of those places, right? It's 6 degrees of separation. And for us, it might not even be 6 degrees, right? So I don't know anybody that I know. And again, I don't know all of y'all friends that share that sentiment. I don't know anybody that shares that sentiment.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
When people, this is one of the things that almost annoys me when people talk about their experiences. They're like, I don't know anyone that blah, blah, blah. You don't know anyone that lets you know these things. You don't know anyone. You don't know anyone fully. People try to act like, oh, I've known this person for 2 years. I know them very well. You don't know the decisions that they're going to make in 5 years, 10 years. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how their mind truly is. You don't know what they allow you to see and what they don't allow you to see. So I feel like oftentimes people, they bank on these funny things, these things that don't make sense. They don't make any kind of sense. It doesn't matter necessarily how we view people or what we think. We don't know what the other person's going to do. And I think that's what people need to think about more often. It would keep them a lot safer.
That's what I'm saying. Like when we were younger, like when we were younger, we was in the 80s. It was the optic for us when we was looking at successful men that made it, right? Now we're older, and we're amongst that peer group. So I don't know of anybody that's their objective in dating. I don't know of anybody. You know,
it probably still exists though.
It could.
I guarantee you, it exists amongst all racial groups. A lot of white people are going to prefer for themselves or other people to get with their race. Same thing with black people, Spanish people. It happens a lot with Spanish people. It happens a lot with Spanish people. You'll always hear Spanish people telling you, the child or whatever, to get with somebody that's the same race. My parents don't do that, but I've heard that with a lot of people. I've heard that with people close to me, and I've heard that with people that aren't so close to me. So the racial preferences definitely still are a thing. I don't think you made it just because you date somebody of a specific ethnicity. I think that's stupid. I think a lot of people in my generation think it's stupid, but my generation isn't the only one that exists. There's generations beyond us that are still prevalent. They're still here and still making decisions. Look at the Supreme Court. All those people are old as fuck and they've been there for like 40 years plus. Shit shouldn't fly. Like, how can we get a president every 4 years, but we can't get a different justice? Okay. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about this down below. Let me know if you think people still have preferences in dating. And yeah, I just want to know what you guys think about this. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe for the 500 subscriber giveaway, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.